In August 1931, a submarine approached the very edge of the known world. Ahead of it stretched a vast, frozen wilderness that few had ever dared to enter. On board was a crew of bold explorers, determined to uncover the Arctic's greatest mysteries. Their goal was not only to reach the top of the world, but to discover what lay hidden beneath it. For centuries, explorers had tried and failed to conquer the North Pole. Wooden ships were crushed by drifting ice, and crews were stranded with little hope of rescue. Others marched across the snow with dog sleds or even on foot, many never to return. Hundreds perished chasing the dream of reaching the pole. It was not until 1926 that the Arctic was finally reached, and only from the air, in a dirigible that never touched the ground. Among those who dreamed of something greater was Sir Hubert Wilkins, an Australian explorer and aviator. He believed the true secrets of the Arctic were not above the ice, but below it. The North Pole lies in the center of a frozen ocean, not on solid land. Wilkins imagined a submarine slipping quietly beneath the ice, exploring the mysterious depths where no human had ever gone. To make his vision a reality, Wilkins poured in his savings, lectured tirelessly, and wrote books to raise funds. But the money was never enough. He needed a partner who could make the expedition famous. That partner was newspaper tycoon William Randolph Hearst. Hearst offered financial backing in exchange for exclusive rights to the story. To capture global attention, Hearst even proposed a dramatic stunt. As Wilkins's submarine surfaced at the pole, the giant German airship Graf Zeppelin would fly overhead. If the two expeditions met, Hearst promised a prize of $150,000. All that was left was to find a submarine. Wilkins chose the Nautilus, a worn-out World War I attack sub designed by Simon Lake, a pioneer of undersea technology. Lake modified it for the Arctic with steel reinforcements, a hydraulic shock absorber, and sled runners that would let it slide beneath the ice like a toboggan. He added drills to bore through the ice in a special diving chamber to collect samples from the ocean floor. The Nautilus, once built for war, was reborn as an instrument of discovery. But from the start, the expedition faced constant trouble. The new gadgets often failed during testing. The ice drills jammed. The submarine leaked. Each trial brought new repairs and new expenses. Wilkins worried that the complex equipment would cause more harm than good, but there was no turning back. In June 1931, the Nautilus finally set sail across the Atlantic. The voyage was grueling. Storms battered the submarine as it struggled against the waves. Inside, 20 men lived in unbearable conditions. Space was so tight that most had to stand. There was only one toilet between two roaring diesel engines, and foul air filled the cabin. Nearly everyone became seasick. Oil, sewage, and water sloshed under their feet. When one engine broke, the Nautilus limped forward on the other, until even that failed. After days of silence, the U.S. battleship Wyoming found the Nautilus adrift northeast of the Azores. Both engines were dead, the batteries drained. Humiliated, Wilkins had to accept a tow to port. Newspapers that once hailed him as a hero now mocked his failed polar submarine. 4 crew members quit, and repairs took weeks. The delay meant Wilkins could no longer meet the Graf Zeppelin or win Hearst's prize. Most explorers would have given up, but Wilkins refused. In late July, the patched-up Nautilus headed north once more, toward the edge of the Arctic ice. The crew took scientific readings and sent back optimistic reports. Beneath the surface, they found unexpected warm layers of water, evidence that the Arctic Ocean was more complex than anyone had imagined. Yet inside the submarine, the mood was grim. There was no heat or insulation. The men shivered in the freezing darkness. They grew sick from bad food and lead poisoning from the pipes. The Nautilus was falling apart. Still, Wilkins pressed onward. On August 22nd, he ordered the submarine to dive beneath the ice. The Nautilus refused to respond. Divers discovered the diving rudder, the mechanism that controlled its vertical movement, was gone. Whether it broke off or was sabotaged, no one knew. The failure should have ended the expedition, but under pressure from Hearst's sponsors, Wilkins kept going. On August 31st, he made a desperate attempt to ram the submarine beneath the ice manually. The sound of metal scraping and bending echoed through the hull as the crew braced for disaster. It was madness, a crippled submarine forced under the ice with no way to steer or surface safely. For several days, they tried to drill through the ice, but the machinery jammed again and again. Exhausted and freezing, the crew knew it was over. On September 6th, Wilkins sent a final message: "Our Arctic trip is over." The Nautilus had failed to reach the pole. It had ventured farther under the ice than any vessel before it, but at a terrible cost. After the expedition, the submarine was declared unfit for repair and deliberately sunk off the coast of Norway. Wilkins returned home financially ruined, his reputation shattered. He had once been among the world's greatest explorers, but his last mission ended in humiliation. Years later, when he died at the age of 70, his ashes were carried by another submarine, the USS Skate, and scattered at the North Pole, the place he had dreamed of reaching. Decades after Wilkins's failed attempt, in 1958, a new submarine bearing the same name, the nuclear-powered USS Nautilus, finally completed the journey. It traveled beneath the ice, crossed the North Pole, and returned in triumph. The world celebrated a technological milestone that had once seemed impossible. Sir Hubert Wilkins's story became a forgotten chapter in the history of exploration. His submarine was lost, his dream unrealized, yet his ambition paved the way for the future of undersea discovery. This was the submarine that tried to conquer the Arctic, and the man whose vision was both brilliant and doomed. Welcome to Lost Projects, where we uncover the forgotten machines and hidden stories that shaped our world.